Hey everyone, I'm Helene, and welcome to the not the vegan stew. This is virtual Vegfest live. I'm so I'm doing this for the vegan stew on Wednesdays, and I always say virtual Veg Fest when I do that. And now here I am with virtual Veg Fest. I'm talking about the vegan stew, which please join the vegan stew on Wednesdays every Wednesday except for the first Wednesday of the month, which Coach Kayla is this week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the following Wednesdays will be the vegan stew, which is a really cool way to check out the stew crew and our cool conversations about pretty much everything veganism and more. So, thank you to Fabulous, our newest sponsor of Virtual Veg Fest and everything else that we do. In fabulous.com, you can go check them out. And they are a new prize pack people donating prize packs to us. If you go to virtualvegfest.com and click the contest tab, you can enter to win one of 7 prizes, being Fabulous, Orgain, Follow Your Heart, Hodo Food, Cinnaholic. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember, and it's so bad because I don't even have Kimberly to tell me, like, who they are. Oh, Terraseed, and the the one I'm forgetting, I'll, like, throw at you later because I can't remember right now. But there's 7 of them, and you can go and you can who is it? I can't remember. So there's 7, and you can win these really cool prize packs. We do it monthly, and we give them away to 7 really cool people who go and do our wish pond and do things like subscribe to Virtual Veg Fest on YouTube or the Vegan Stew on YouTube or Facebook channels or Instagram channels or Twitter channels. And you can, share and get like lots of points. And the more points you have, the more chances you have to win one of those prize packs. So we're going to have a great conversation today with Norit. I'm super excited. She is the owner of Spare Change in Asheville, North Carolina. She's also a sponsor of Asheville Vegan Fest. And the store, if you haven't been, is 100% vegan and not food, which we go a different direction here. But everything in the store is like certified to be ethical, and she's an ethical vegan. So when you shop there, whatever you pick up is made with ethics or local and small business. It's not supporting, dare I say, Amazon. So it's a way to look at it. Well, let's bring on. If you have any questions or comments, to put them in the little box. We'll definitely address them. And let's start. Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm really glad that you're here. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time. It's been really busy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, I took some time. I find that in December I don't want to do anything, and I don't fight it. I just
Yeah,
I just do pretty much the bare minimum that I need to do
good
to
for
get to
you.
to get to January,
Yeah,
because we spend so much time during the year, especially last year with doing like the 3 events in a row, being away for 19 days in a row. It's a lot.
yeah, yeah. And it
It's
was it was great to be part of it. I'm glad I got to jump in on the Asheville Veg Fest and be part of that. That was awesome.
Yeah,
So
me too, and thanks to Susan for that too, for
yeah,
Susan making the connection, because I had no idea that you were, I mean, you're walking distance for the event. You're,
yeah,
like, right there. So tell us, I mean, people who don't know you, well, they should, and 2, like, what is Spare Change? Who are you? Tell us everything you wanna tell us.
sure. So Spare Change and me are really hand in hand. I've been vegan since 1993, the night of my 16th birthday. It was official. And even though I started beforehand, my father would make me drink organic milk, dairy milk, still for like a year because he was worried. And the night of my 16th birthday, I said, enough, I'm going vegan. And no one had any faith in me whatsoever. And I'm 44
Mm.
years old and still live the same lifestyle very proudly. And one thing I did along the road was always try to incorporate my lifestyle into business or wherever I could. I traveled a lot for work. I used to be a buyer, a retail buyer, and I also used to do a lot of media work. And I was always traveling, and it was so hard to find vegan food that I would always carry something with me or, try to bring in something. And my dream was always to have a place where a vegan can shop where you could have anything off the menu and it's vegan, but it doesn't have to be food related. It could be a pair of earrings and it could be a purse, and you don't have to ask, is there leather in this? What's this button made out of? Is this wool? Is this silk? Is this shell? And this is what I got to do with Spare Change. And Spare Change, the name is very simple. It is that your dog or my dog?
Oh, those are mine. I'll
Okay.
mute myself.
I have 3, so I never know who's barking or when, but you have 3 too. Yeah, so Spare Change was a midnight doodle. I write a lot at night, and I also come up with my cartoons at night, and I did this, "Hey, buddy, can you spare some change?" And I woke my husband up. I said, "Oh, great name for a store," because you can spare change in the way you shop and the way you look at consumerism. And so that's how it started. And born with Spare Change, just January 2nd, 2021, 1 year ago.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that this was the anniversary, so happy anniversary because
Thank
boy,
you.
did you pick a strange year to start.
I had no choice, my friend. It was either that or keep getting rejected for jobs everywhere I've worked. I was either, and it happened where I was embraced, but a lot of times, it was an uphill battle for me. I was too weird or too feisty or too vegan or too out there or not enough. And I was tired of it. I wanted to do something for anybody and everybody. And so that's how it was born.
Yeah, I'm convinced that there are just certain people who aren't 9 to 5ers. They're not corporate people.
Yeah.
And we are 2 of them because I don't fit. I don't keep my mouth shut. I
Mhm.
refuse to be taken advantage of and be treated poorly and to not get paid for the work and efforts that I put in. So I flipped it when I was still working in that world is I would just go in and not do any. Like I would do just the bare minimum.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough world, especially, I think for me that the last straw, those was the most current job I had till I did this. I had a boss who actually told me not to say "How are you" to people when they come in. And I looked at her and I said, I don't understand. Why can't I say, how are you? And she said, it's overused. I really don't feel comfortable with you saying that. And I thought, what the heck am I supposed to say to people? I don't, and I remember thinking, this is it. I can't do this anymore. I'm a grown woman. If I want to say, how are you? I need to be able to say it.
you should have been
And
like, "I'll say shalom."
yeah, I'll say, halan,
Which would you prefer then?
yeah, I mean, it's that kind of mentality that it's people who try to stifle who you are in the smallest ways. And I'm not trying to change the world, but I will say this, and I do want people to know that it isn't just that I sell vegan approved retail. We donate monthly. There are 2 organizations we donate monthly to consistently, and that's the Humane Society of the United States and Animals Asia. We sponsor you guys and have a booth, hopefully now every year with you as well. And we donate to the fundraising causes of Mercy for Animals and Mountain Pet Rescue, which fosters animals. So, and we sponsor turkeys. I forgot, from the Gentle Barn. We did our first. I
Oh,
got a turkey for every staff member. So
that's awesome. Oops, frozen.
we do, whether you shop there or not. Those things get done every month. So that's a part of Spare Change as well. But the vegan retail aspect is, it's the little things. It's once I remember going to Marshall's and getting a really cute shirt, and I had to wash it, and it said, shirt 100% cotton, button of unknown animal origin. I said, what? And I look, and there's this tiny little button, and I thought, how did I miss this? How did the vegan censors not catch this? And long story short, that went into the back of my head. And when I have a store, nobody's gonna have to worry about the little buttons or the zippers, or is the felt made out of wool? Is the chocolate have or is the chapstick have beeswax in it? You are in a safe place, but you don't have to know it, because I don't want it to be non-vegans to be scared to come in, you know? It's a store. It's a fun place to be. You know, we play good music. I have a brilliant staff. It's a lot of fun. It just happens to be vegan, you know?
which is really cool because it's a really it's an attractive store to go into because the name makes you go, "What is that?" And then all like the different things. It's a touristy type place to go into.
Yeah.
And it's ethical, but no one really, if you're not vegan, you would have no idea. But if you are vegan, you go in there and you go, I need to support this because there's I mean it's there's everything. Plus
There's
like
everything.
your logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wanted to wear, my sweatshirt to show everyone. Unfortunately, I can't. I have our button downs right now. I had a little procedure done, but, you know, I love when people walk by and they go, "Spare Chang? Spare Ching?" They can't say it. People always ask me, "Why is it spelled different?" I tell them, "Because you have to bend your mind to the concept of change." So even the word change is spelled differently for that. So you can, oh, I can hear my husband. I need to close the door. He's he talks loud. But and I do I saw and it started really with just my designs. I do all the shirt designs. Everybody's weird. That's my trademark design. And I have my beer bear and I have my camping duo. I have all these safe locals. I have all these little designs. And so it started really for tourists to get something authentic. But a lot of locals start coming in. So now it's, you know, jewelry and stuffed animals and purses and so many bras and so many rings and so many stickers. It's like, I just can't stop. It's too much fun.
Yeah, that's it. And plus you a lot of the times you support local artists, local authors, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I actually have it wasn't on purpose, but right now I'd say about 90%, a solid 90% of the store is all women artists. Not like I said, that wasn't on purpose, but I have primarily independent vendors, which means that either they're independent artists or they're their own independent entity. So even the ones that I work with overseas, a lot of them are independent. I work with a lot of brands that are new to the United States that actually I was their first order, their first US order. My most proud achievement so far actually is the local and even non-local, just artists around who have never sold to a store before. They're brand new to it. They do art and they come to me and they're like, "Well, I have to sell these prints," and we get them out there and we sell for them and we put them on the table, and it's such a great feeling when people buy their art, whether it's a sticker, you know, or a big painting. It's really exciting to see the growth. So I'd say about 80% of the store is local, and 90%, besides being women, is also US based artists. But I've got a ton of really cool artists from UK, a lot from the Netherlands, Spain. I have a couple girls from Ukraine who see their art. So in that aspect, it's kind of all over the board.
That's really neat. I mean, I've been in the store, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm so glad like Susan's watching, so she said hi to us. I'm
Hi.
really happy that Susan like walked in that day and you like gave her that chocolate and she
She's
was
happy
like,
for that chocolate.
yeah, I didn't even try it because like I don't know why I guess we ate so much stuff while we were on the road, but
I gotta get it's the best it's from Belgium. It's so good.
Mm.
It's so good. It's addictive. I
Oh,
can't eat it anymore because I'll
that's
eat
good.
it in one
That's
sitting.
good to know. Next time I'm in town, which will should be it's at some point I'll be in town because we'll have the festival again in October.
October,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's October 2nd, I think.
We'll be there. We'll be part of it for sure, you
That's a
know?
yeah,
Definitely.
that's amazing. Yeah, I know. So your background, not the work wise, but your background in veganism, it's it, it's amazing. So I'd love to hear more about that from you. So
Yeah, it started very organic.
Mm.
I was 14 years old, and my teacher asked who was vegetarian in the class, and I wasn't at the time. I mean, I was eating like those In-N-Out burgers, like 4 at a time. And I raised my hand, and I wasn't really one to do to people. And I remember leaving the classroom really having this, this epiphany of like, why did I lie about being vegetarian? Why is that important? And just a little while later, I met another girl. Her name was Natasha, and she and I watched Meet Your Meat, the 11-minute or video from PETA, and we looked at each other. We were like, it's all the way. That's it. There's no middle ground. We're going vegan. And we told our parents. And of course, it sounds like we were coming out of, back then it kind of was like, it wasn't a common thing to be vegan, especially in South Florida. It was there's a big Hispanic community. All my friends were Hispanic, so it was a big deal to eat a lot of meat and dairy. And I'm Israeli, so we eat a lot of dairy in my country, and a lot of fish. And so long story short, I really had to fight my way. My parents said, you go vegan, but you have to study it for at least a year to prove that you could do it healthy. And that was a blessing in disguise, because I really learned how to be a healthy vegan. And on March 17th, 1993, I said to my mom, no, no chicken, please. And no on the potatoes, because you cook them with the chicken. They looked at me and they're like, oh, she's pretty serious. And I got very heavily into activism. I was doing a lot of volunteer activism. I did a lot of shelter work. I did a lot of protests. And a few years later, after doing some debates, I did some radio shows. I was kind of getting known as the outspoken vegan Jew in my little community. A lot of people got to know me. I used to work for a radio station, so I was quite known then as well for my views and my, feelings on things. And then I worked for PETA. I didn't work there as long as I wanted to. I was a campaign coordinator for Animals and Entertainment. England was my primary campaign that I worked on, and I traveled and I did video footage and protest. And the reasons I chose to leave PETA had nothing to do with the rights for animals or my fight. It had to do with the way PETA as an organization was working. And I felt like it wasn't what it should have been. But the work I got to do there it was hard. It was very hard. It changed a lot in me. It really made me hate people. I mean, after I left PETA, it was tough because I was exposed to things that, as someone who was already a vegan and already an activist, I probably did to be exposed to. It really did harm to me. It's something that people that, think it's all a joke or, hippy dippy crap, they're the ones who should have seen what I was exposed to. But I did what I had to do, and it gave me a lot. And I took some time. I moved back in with my parents, and I did some healing. And then I thought, well, how can I still do what I did for PETA with a little more of a voice, an individual voice, rather than this whole group? And believe it or not, I really feel like I made more change working for the corporations that I did than for PETA. Not that I'm knocking any kind of activist work, because again, I still do protest to this day. But when I moved to Las Vegas, I was a retail buyer for, at the time, was the largest Hilton in the world. We did not have any kind of environmental causes. We didn't have a campaign or anything. I became the chairperson for our eco department. I brought in recycling, LED lighting. This was, you have to remember now, the largest Hilton in the world at the time. This was a really big deal. And the best thing I got to do was to bring in a vegan retail section. So I got to carry ABC cookies. Remember, Alternative Baking Company? Do you remember their
Yeah.
cookies?
Yep.
Brought them in. Crazy Rumors, which is now
Mhm.
a huge company. She was just starting out. I brought in Green Tree Jewelry. They were just starting out. All these Pacifica who started out as a little candle company. I brought them into our spa. Now they're like huge, which is
Wow.
amazing. But we were one of their very, very first, clients, and it was because I really pinpointed vegan companies. And my bosses at the time, who one is still my mentor to this day, Tony Salah, he was an amazing man, and Mardine Speck, she was my boss, and they were very supportive. And it kind of expanded, and people got to know, oh, this hotel is bringing in eco and independent artists, and let's try to, so we got to meet a lot of special people. And from there I realized, you can make change from a corporation, or within the big guys. You just have to learn to speak up, and it doesn't always have to be a fight. So you got one thing I learned from PETA is you don't always have to yell at everybody.
Right. In your face.
Yeah,
Right.
some people you should. Yeah, the ones who run the slaughterhouses, we know how we feel about them. I want to yell in their faces. But the guy who's eating the ribs and doesn't know any better, sometimes going to his level of communication might actually influence him.
Right. As opposed to just telling him that he's wrong.
Exactly.
Right.
So, yeah, and it kind of just all, starts snowballing from there. But it was really my time in Vegas and the support I got there from vendors and from just friends and people that I thought, one day I think I can do this. And, then came a stream of crap jobs. And I think Asheville has so much potential, and Asheville is a wonderful place to welcome all forms of lifestyles and the vegan lifestyle. But it's not, it's slow. It's the South. It's slower. It's not a bad thing. It's just a little, more laid back. So I'd like to think that maybe I'm bringing a vegan side that's not just about hemp and patchouli, although huge fan, huge, but also about chic and funky, and that you can be a modern whoever you are and happen to be vegan. So that's where the heart is.
So a couple of questions.
Yeah.
What Hilton is it? Is it still there in Vegas?
No, it broke my heart because when I was still there, we had to change the name to LVH because we lost the Hilton name. Now it's a Westgate. It's
Oh,
long
okay.
gone, long gone. And Tony Salah's retired, and Mardine's retired, and yeah, those were the good old days. Elvis lived there for like 8 years. The Hiltons grew up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a lot of fun. I could tell you that's a whole other show. I could tell you stories about Vegas anytime.
And Vegas is at this point is like a vegan mecca.
It's
It
it's
is.
unbelievable.
I I mean, we've been like we hadn't been in like a few years, and we just came back in December, and there's so many places. I
It's
mean,
unbelievable.
Solely Vegan out of Oakland
Yeah.
is
Well, the West
selling
Coast.
food in Vegas.
Sorry, my cat decided to jump into the camera just to cough up a fur ball. Sorry.
Oh, that's a cat.
Yes.
So Damaris says, yes, we need you. Multiple venues to be seen and have influence. Please keep coming here. That's
Is that
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Vegas, I remember going to I got to give a shout out if for whatever reason they happen to be watching this. Ronald's Donuts. Have you been there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. That is
Such sweet people. When we went twice. We went
We used
twice.
to go twice a day.
Oh gosh, it's unbelievable because I would say at this point they're probably 85% or 90% vegan with their
Mhm.
donuts because it was like what's vegan? It's like all of this, and what's not, it's like this little piece, this little
Yeah.
part. And when the second time when we went back before we left, we got some stuff, and she was like, "Tell all your friends." Like, I was like, "Do you ship?"
Yeah.
Because she's like, "Well, the quality, because it's a donut, it's hard to ship donuts." And I was thinking, I wouldn't care.
Right.
I was
Oh,
just send it. But it's really, they really are probably it's the best donuts and donut-like things, because it's not just donuts, because they've got, like, the cinnamon twists, and
Yeah, the
they've
bear
got
claws.
yeah, the filled donuts, and they've got bagels, and they've got, like, breakfast
They have bagels
bagels.
now?
Yes, and they've got vegan ice cream. They have, like, all these things, like, it's just all in one place, and you go in for a donut, and you're like, "Well, do I want breakfast?"
See,
You know,
back in my day, it was just donuts, but I mean, they knew me so well that once they were closed and I brought my parents and I knocked on the door and they were like, "Come on, let's go." And on my last day at the Hilton, it was just box after box of donuts. Yeah, they're great. And the Win, of course, he's got all vegan options. And in Chinatown there's so many vegan places. Back when I was there, and now it was a while ago, but man, there used to be some good food. And that's a big thing that's lacking in Asheville is a good vegan Chinese place. That is something that Vegas nailed, California nails, and here there in New York, there's a million of them,
Yep.
and Asheville needs that. If I could cook, I would do it, but I don't cook at all.
Oh.
So
So it's not the thing you're going to start.
no,
So, okay,
no, no.
understood. It's probably a little weird for you to start the Asian restaurant. I mean, as a Jew,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
actually, that's
Hummus
actually
and
not too
falafel I could
far-fetched.
do, yeah.
It's not too far-fetched for a Jew to start an Asian restaurant, because what did we grow up eating?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, Tamara says, "Yes, we need vegan Chinese, thank you." Yes,
Yeah,
and that Vegan Fest has been well attended, actually. Yes, it has. It's our most well attended event out of all the ones that we do so far, because
yeah,
we have so many coming up this year. But yeah, we love Vegas, and we, like, ate our way through it. And I mean, Kenny's Dim Sum, because he opened Kenny's Vegan Sushi, he opened up a dim sum restaurant, and it just
it's amazing there. It is. I miss it a lot, but, you know, this is home sweet home for at least a little while now. So spare
yeah.
change isn't gonna go anywhere for at least 3 more years, so hopefully.
Oh, that's yeah.
One.
Yeah, I know Naka what I'll do too. So, and then Susan said definitely yes. And I mean, let's talk more locals, because we talk about Asheville, because Asheville is not lacking in vegan food. It's just lacking in good Asian food, which makes sense, because here in the Triangle it's the same thing. And I mean, Boba House is in Greensboro, which is really actually pretty decent, but it's not even halfway for you. It's probably 2 hours from you, and it's an hour and a half from me.
Yeah.
So, but that's a little far to go for Asian
Well,
food.
you wanna know what's sad? I'll tell you something you just reminded me. When I was younger, like in my early 20s, and my brother lived in Jacksonville, and I was living with my parents in South Florida. I think this is when I came back from PETA, and there was a vegan breakfast place where he lived in Jacksonville, and that's about a 7.5, 8-hour drive at the time. Now it's a little shorter, but at the time, I'm not making this up. I would drive up on a Friday night, go out to breakfast with him Saturday in Jacksonville at Open Heart Cafe, and then drive back either Saturday night or Sunday morning. And I would do this almost every weekend just to get vegan pancakes. So see how spoiled all you vegans are now? Back then we had to drive 8 hours just to get a vegan pancake.
And the thing is, like, to make your own vegan pancake is really easy.
Yeah, who knew? Me, and I would order, like, with the chocolate chips, and my brother would say, "You can't eat all that," and I'd be like, "Excuse me, I sure
Right.
can. Thank you very much." And I did. I ate the whole thing. It was amazing, and it
Oh,
was worth the drive.
that's a great story. And I mean, speaking of another state that's blown up with veganism, Florida is also blown up with veganism. So
About
I
time
like look at
too.
your brothers and like, you sure can.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
He knows I can eat, yeah.
So, I mean, Asheville is really cool, because, I mean, one of the best vegan restaurants in the country is in Asheville, which is
Mhm.
Plant.
Of course.
And it's a big, big fan. Oh, so listen, Morris said, "Oh, it's scary." He's like, "It's scary how much you can eat." And,
Oh,
so Damaris said, "Yes, we eat vegan camps all the time. Yes, it's an auspicious time to go vegan. So many options in restaurants, and with grocery options too." That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Oh, the grocery world. I mean, listen, for anyone who's been vegan longer than I'd say 20 years can relate to this. That it used to be that you'd have rice dream ice cream in
Mhm.
chocolate or vanilla, and you had a carob cookie and soy milk, and life was good. That was it. You know, and you were
Right.
happy. There were no complaints. But now, I mean, there's like every type of gourmet cheese available, and every kind of milk made from every kind of butter. And it's, I mean, the ice creams alone that are out there. I mean, Cherry Garcia vegan,
Yeah. Well, Ben& and
it's
Jerry's doing all those vegan ice creams. They've got, I think, what do they have, like 17 flavors now or something like that? I mean, that's
unbelievable.
I
I
it's
mean, you
it's
used to spend hours going chocolate, vanilla, and you didn't like rice stream. No offense, rice stream, but you didn't even like it. But you were like, all right, this is what I have.
right.
World's changed.
Oh, it's there's that's no joke. So one of my favorite restaurants in Asheville is actually Rosetta's Kitchen, which
Mm-hmm.
went all vegan.
Yeah,
They
she's
weren't all vegan. They went all vegan, which is amazing. And a non like I we went to the same restaurants. Everyone would come to town. We'd go to the same places over and over, which we still kind of do. But I wanted to branch out into like the restaurants that have vegan options and not be 100% vegan.
mhm.
And Heiwa is
Oh, yeah.
one of my favorite places to eat anywhere,
Mine too.
and that's it's Japanese food.
Yeah.
So, it is, it is so good. So if you haven't been to Heiwa, it's actually walking distance from Rosetta is just up the block,
And just as
and
and just close to Spare Change, don't forget. It's like Cat and
yes.
Rumpus, right around the next
Oh,
street
yeah,
over.
it's right downtown Asheville, and
Mhm.
they have a parking lot, a tiny one, so you don't necessarily have
Yeah.
to find parking, and it's the sushi, the vegan sushi, which is very unique because they do, like, an almond butter
Mhm.
roll with almond butter with tempeh, and
Mhm.
it's you wouldn't think,
It's
you put
it's
almond butter.
phenomenal. Their ramen bowls are phenomenal. Yeah, they do some amazing, amazing food. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of great stuff, but it doesn't mean that more can't come, you know?
That is true. That
I
is
know
so
Susan's a good cook too. I'm waiting for her to open up a place so I can eat some of her food. Her
Su
potato leek,
I
sweet.
know. She does, she's a great cook, but I don't know if Susan's also an artist. I don't know if you've seen her art in Asheville,
Mhm.
which is,
Yeah.
like, really cool, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
oh, so Damaris, thanks for watching, Damaris, and now she says, "Love you." That's so sweet.
Aw, that's
That's very
sweet.
sweet. And then one other thing she said is, "Do you know about Garth Davis, Proteinaholic?" He's not in Asheville anymore, just so you know. He moved to Texas, and so he's no longer an Asheville resident. I don't I can't believe he went from Asheville to Texas. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Houston, I think is where Dr. Davis moved to. And Proteinaholic is a book that he wrote in collaboration with Howard Jacobson, who is local
Oh,
to our community
oh, okay,
here in
yeah.
the Triangle. Yeah.
Well, the protein thing is something it's funny that that's brought up because that's something my whole life, how do you get your protein? How do you get your protein? And it's like, well, how do you get your protein? Why unless you're a bodybuilder, how much protein do you think the human body actually really needs? I mean, I've never, ever, knock on wood, had any issue with my protein or my calcium in almost 30 years I've been vegan. Ironically, now I have to take a higher intake of protein just due to my situation. So I'm just planning on upping the tofu, upping the hummus a little bit,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
it's one of the least it's the least of your worries.
You're right. Protein there's never been a protein deficient person on the planet unless, like, they weren't eating,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's
if you're
really hard.
eating, you're good. I mean, if you look at it's interesting because if a bagel with, like, peanut butter on it has what, like almost 20 grams of protein?
Yeah, a lot.
Because the Wegmans bagels I have downstairs, the sesame bagels, I looked at it, it has 11 grams of protein in it.
There you go. I mean, I remember do you remember I used to have a shirt that said, like, "No, my shoes aren't leather. Yes, I get enough protein. Yes, no, I don't eat fish. Yes, I have a life."
Right?
It was literally, it was like a T-shirt that I had. It was just because it was so frustrating, the questions, and the irony is that through the years, that set of questions have remained consistent. People stopped looking at my shoes, to question me whether my shoes are vegan, but they still ask about the protein. And it doesn't matter that the obesity rates in this country keep going up and up and up, and all the diseases keep getting worse and worse and worse. None of that is looked at. But when I tell people I'm vegan, do you get any protein? We eat more processed food than any country in the world. And it's just interesting to me um
Where the lines
where
are.
focus is. Yeah.
Right.
You know?
It's like maybe you need to move your line a little in your direction.
Right.
Look in the mirror. Like,
Yeah,
what are you eating?
and it's the same with retail. People come in, and it's very rare. Most people are really awesome, but there's those few that want a challenge, and they say, "Well, this is made in China." And I say, "Yeah, a lot of mostly everything is made in China, first of all. It's hard to avoid it. It's actually impossible to avoid it because production is sourced primarily from China. That doesn't mean it's all bad. You have to do your research. There's a lot of advancements in China. There's a lot of advancements with companies who are working with Chinese manufacturing. And I know the companies that I work with, and I know the factories in China that I work with. And I don't support any child labor. I don't support any humane trade. And if God forbid I found out I was, done. End of discussion. But I can trace my production, and I'm not going to ban China. There's things that I can only get from them.
Right.
But, it's just the way it is, and cost efficiencies and whatnot. But it's just interesting how quickly people, but this is, this, and do a little education, do a little research. It's not all so bad. And you do whatever you can in the meantime as well. We can't change the world overnight, right? So you
Yeah.
take it one step at a time.
It's very interesting to me because we've brought it up on the vegan stew. We've spoken about it in the sense that I would love to see people work hard to build people up as opposed to how hard they work to knock people down.
Oh, I
It's
think
just
that's
it's
yeah.
just awful. I mean, and that's vegans, that's humans. Just like switch the channel, which now just keep scrolling on, keep going through your feed and don't stop. You can disagree with something. You don't have to say, but that's fattening. Like,
Right,
someone
right.
posts something like they're like, "This is the best vegan food ever." Was that have oil in it? Why are you eating oil?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? What you post or what you do or what you feel for you is what you feel for you.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
guess what? It's not me.
exactly. We have to learn to, well, we've become very, very judgmental. But that's also the goal in the store. Like, I have, like, for example, a purse line that's made. It's from the Netherlands. It is made 100% vegan, obviously vegan. No plastic. It's made from either the skin of grapes, the skin of apples, pineapples, or cactuses. They're not cheap. They're between 100 and 200, which isn't so bad, actually. But then I have other vegan purses made from recycled plastic bottles. And then I have other ones made from plastic. And I've had some people say to me, "Well, why would you sell plastic and blah, blah, blah? It hurts the environment." I'm a vegan store. My goal is to work with non-animal products of any kind. The plastic purses I carry are from a woman-owned company, a one-woman show that I know, that I've known forever in LA, and I'm going to support her. And again, it's you got to kind of outweigh what the long run is, right? Of what you're supporting. And people are very, very quick to say, "Well, I don't want to do this," or you say you're this way. And I'm not saying I'm anything. I'm just saying I'm happen to be vegan, and I hope that you like the stuff I sell. And if for whatever reason it makes you decide to try being vegan, brilliant. Then maybe we save
Right.
an animal or two, right?
Yep.
That's the goal.
You just don't need to walk into a store or go onto a person's timeline or say something to someone via text or email or in person because it doesn't normally happen in person. But for you, for retail, oof, yeah, you just don't buy the plastic purse.
Right, don't buy it. And don't assume that, what I'm doing is an automatic contradiction to what I'm saying I'm doing.
Right.
Let me explain to you, you
Right.
know, again, if something says made in China, congratulations, 90% of the things in your house will say it too. Ask yourself, but who is this company in China? And who am I really supporting? And it's funny, I've had people in the store. I had the other day a couple, it actually killed me. It was they were holding one of her purses, this independent woman that I work with, and they were buying it on Amazon, a copy, not hers. And I said to him, I walked up and I said, "You ready to check out?" Because I knew what they were doing. He said, "No, no, no." And they put the purse back. And I said, "Oh, you're shopping on Amazon?" I said, "Thank you for helping ensure this small business gets one step closer to diminishing." And they looked at me like, and they walked out, and I thought, do it when you leave the store. I don't go into a restaurant, a steakhouse, and plop down vegan food and say, I'm going to eat my dinner here. I wouldn't do that but you know what I mean? It's and just the fact that we've become so oblivious to the positive tiny effort, and we're so, driven to make a point, it seems,
Oh, for sure.
you
I
know?
mean, it's and to look to make you wrong. They'll make
Yeah.
to put the pie in your face, the vegan pie in your face, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch you. And I haven't really had that happen to me. I guess I'm thankful for that. I don't really have people looking at the shoes I'm wearing. At least I don't believe they are because maybe I wear is sneakers now
Yeah.
and they're Brooks and I know they're vegan. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, it's been a, I mean, I will everyone around me kind of knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I really and I think it would be really challenging to kinda come at me because it's really you're gonna come at me.
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
and I won't bite my tongue necessarily.
Isn't
And
that funny? You reach a certain point, or I don't know if it's age or maturity or both or whatever, but you reach a point where you're just like, I don't need to filter my response to you anymore. Like the guy who bought it on Amazon, I thanked him for helping, you know, make me one less step closer to the goal of what we all say we do, support small business, which is also a huge aspect in the vegan community, because every time you support a small business, you're supporting less carbon footprints, you're supporting less environmental damage, you're keeping things closer to home. It's the same as you would with food, with sustainable farming. Sustainable consumption, of consumerism is not much different, you
no,
know?
it's not. I love it's really cool because your store is it encapsulates what we do with Vegfest. We support
Yeah,
the local and small businesses, not necessarily local, but we support shop small and
right.
want people to come to the events and spend money. Like I am not shy about saying, I want you to come here and spend money. If you're not coming to spend money, then I don't necessarily think I want you to come. And I'm saying that publicly because
Yeah.
those vendors paid to be there. We
Hmm.
spent a lot of money to make the event happen.
Yep.
And I want you to come and spend money on those vendors because they are little businesses all in one place. In Asheville, it happens to be like 100 of them, all
Yeah.
little businesses in one place for that day. And they want to make money. I
Yeah.
mean, they need to pay their bills. So when you come to the event, it's great to peruse and walk around. But when you tell me you're coming to the event and like $5 donation makes it so that you can't come, well then how are you supporting the vendors? I mean,
Yeah.
outside of food, I want you to come and not just eat. I want you to eat and do more.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's if I went from having no employees, working 7 days a week until May, I basically was from January till May, it was just me every day. And my husband was like, "Close the store one day." And I said, "Are you crazy? I have to make money because I have to pay rent." I was terrified. And I'm so grateful that I have four fabulous, fabulous women who work for me. And if you don't buy from my small business, then I can't employ these four fabulous women. I
Right.
can't pay rent. It's of course we want you to spend your money. Of course we want your business. There's no shame in that.
Nope.
If you're going to shop, yeah, and the cool thing, I will say, the one cool thing that I like about my shop that I made sure happens, and it prints out on every receipt, is know exactly what you buy. If you buy this cell phone cover, I could tell you who made it. Oh, this is my design, by the way.
Oh,
Everybody's
they're
weird.
good. I'm so
Just,
glad.
but if you buy that, I could tell you who made it, where it was made. I probably tell you how long I've known the person for. It's a fun thing you can make. It's like that Whole Foods concept of trace the boat to where you got you know,
Right. Right,
your
right to the, like, ground that the spinach grew out of.
exactly. Thank you. Yes. So that's really, the same thing. We want you to know where you got this ring, and that it was a piece of art, that someone made it, and someone took the time to make it, whether it
That's so
was in Nashville or China.
right. That's so cool. So, Marquez is actually one of our vendors, and he makes socks, like, a
Ooh,
whole bunch of, like, awesome designs of socks.
okay.
So, you might wanna talk with him. I talked to him about in where were we? Chattanooga, about potentially making like, specific designs, like vegan designs for socks,
Oh,
and
cool.
I guess
Yeah.
that's something I need to, like, follow back around to because, like I said at the start of this, I haven't been doing anything. I'm now back. I'm 2 days into the swing of things. I have a stand-up desk. I'm getting back into stand-up desk shape because I haven't been standing at my desk.
Tell
So,
me about it. Yeah.
it's a
Well, I'd
gr
love to talk to him. I have a huge, huge sock section.
oh,
Huge.
that'd be neat
My
'cause you can probably put your design, like onto a sock.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him. I mean, my email is just as easy. It's without the first name, just sparechange@aol.com. So easy. Shoot me an email. I'd love to chat. Any vegan vendors or art vendors or whatever. Yeah, I'm always open to bringing. And now it's the slow months, but come April, when I'm looking into expanding again, hopefully, then yeah, I'm ready to rock anytime.
That's really cool, and then Donna said, "Check out the news of Bayer Manufacturing buying organic seed company."
That's
Oh,
very
that'd be
cool.
an interesting, like, Wednesday night topic. So,
Yeah,
I have to remember that. Bayer bought
very, yeah.
an organic seed company. Bayer aspirin. The
Isn't it
world
crazy that Tyson Chicken now makes vegan nuggets? Think about how far we've come, that the number one chicken slaughter in company basically is scared and is offering vegan chicken nuggets. That's a big deal. That says a lot about our community and how far we've come.
there we go.
Okay, pop socks. I'll try to put that into
It's in
my
the
memory.
comments, so you're all good. You can look at it
Okay.
anytime.
Okay, cool.
It's
Cool.
really so, not just Tyson, but Smithfield, the
Smithfield,
second
yeah.
largest producer of pigs, has plant-based meat, and
Yeah,
that was an interesting, like, standing in Sprouts, trying to figure out whether I was going to buy it or not, because I was
right?
like,
It's
"Do
like,
I
do you
give
support
them"
them?
like, they're 2 hours from where I live, killing all those pigs. There's more
Yeah,
pigs in North Carolina than there are people being slaughtered every day. Here's
yeah,
plant-based meat by these people who are slaughtering all these pigs. Do I buy this? But, I did. It's okay. It's not the best plant-based meat out there. It's not the worst either, because I believe that you need to put money towards the vegan products of these companies, a lot of it, so
yeah,
that they start putting their money into that. And guess what happens? They should have less pigs or chickens slaughtered
right.
because they'll put money into the products that are making money.
Exactly, because
And
that's what it comes down to for them. I mean, that's the
yep,
reality, it's money. So, yeah, that's why, listen, I tell my husband when he wants a burger, a veggie burger, he goes to Burger King and he gets the Impossible Burger, and now they're having chicken nuggets. I mean,
right,
vegan chicken nuggets,
right,
obviously.
yeah.
McDonald's in UK, look at that, the first all vegan burger, like really vegan with the vegan cheese and bun, and McDonald's.
I
I mean, this
know.
this is huge, that's a big step up for us.
That would be a tough one though. It'd be I get that McDonald's is doing that, but I just don't see myself going there. I just
I
just
know. But
Don't.
think about it, like, if you're on a road trip and you're starving, like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to Subway, like, in the middle of nowhere, and I'd be like, "Can you change your gloves and just, clean the knife and just put
Yep.
veggies?" "No, no cheese. No, no,
Right, right.
just
No
veggies."
mayo.
Yeah, "No, ma'am, no, no!"
Vinegar and oregano, perfect.
Yes. Yeah, and they look at you like, it's someone in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, "What?" And you're like, "Yep, great, thanks." So yeah, it'd be kind of nice to actually get a vegan burger. When Dunkin' Donuts came out with Impossible, it was dry as heck,
Sausage.
but I got it.
Right, right. No, I hear you, I hear you.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting comment from Donna, "The lab-made shrimp are little?" I'm not sure where that give us more information so we
Yeah.
can we can touch on where you're going with the lab-made shrimp are little, because there are vegan shrimp. So, that are some are big, some are small, some are
Yeah,
medium, but
listen,
they
just like all sizes, right?
yes,
Everything.
there's a whole bunch of that. So to pivot a little bit,
Mhm.
away from this, because I could talk about food we could talk about food for hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've referred to what's going on with you.
Mhm.
We've
Yeah.
knocked on wood. I would like to touch on that because
Sure.
it's, a couple of reasons. One, it'd probably get people into the store. I hate to say that, but it's still business. So, but that's not the reason we're going to talk
Yeah.
about this. It just happens to be a side effect of, stuff that's going on.
I
And, you need all the support in the world, and that can come from anywhere, and you don't know where that's going to come from necessarily. You have what you have, but you don't know where else it could come from. And there's a whole community,
yeah.
potentially all over the world, that will have your back and what you need, and the energy, just the energy. If you pray. I mean, whatever people do, but healing energy is what I like to send to people, or feel like, when people need healing.
Absolutely.
So share what's going on.
Yeah, well, so just to give a little more of a personal sense, and again, I'm doing this. It's you kind of touched on it. I'm not doing this for sympathy, and I'm not doing this for any other reason other than the reality of my love for where I'm at now. On November 20th, 2020, my father died in my arms. My father's work, and it's a very tough process, and after he died, I quit that job with the "How are you?" I quit that to go take care of dad. I told my husband, "I am not going back to work for the crap heads anymore." And I said, "I'm doing it. I'm opening my own store." And I'm gonna tell you, lost my dad. I moved my mom up here. My mom has kidney failure. I take care of my mom. I moved up here, opened the store, and I was every day there, and I love that store so much with all my heart. And just a few days after the 1-year anniversary of my father's death this last November, I found out that I have stage 3 breast cancer, and it's quite aggressive, and it's spread to my lymph nodes, and I will be undergoing chemotherapy. I actually start Tuesday. I had my port put in yesterday, which is itchy as heck. And I will also be having a double mastectomy and then radiation therapy. I'm hormone blockage, and it's one thing after another that they're, you know, throwing at me, and I don't have a lot of time to think it through because this cancer is so aggressive and is spreading so quickly that they need to move fast. That being said, I did do a little reel on Instagram to kind of share with people because it was starting to kind of get around, and I wanted to kind of nip any potential rumors, but also the main thing was to let people know that my biggest fear is to lose the store, because a lot of people know that I'm in the store. It's me. That's who's there, and I won't be there that much. And I don't want to the magic of what that store has done for people. And it sounds silly because it's a store, but it's not. It's a hangout. It's a place where people come and feel fun and love. And the manager, Maddie, has a beautiful voice, and she sings and she dances, and we fight over our playlists, and it's usually a cross between Motley Crue and Snoop Dogg and Bob Dylan, and it's it's a special place, and I don't want to lose it, and I don't want to people to think that I'm gone, or not that I'm so special or important, but the designs will continue to come forth. I will still working on designs, but my team will be there, and this is my livelihood. And the medical bills are scary as heck, and they are what they are. And it's scary. It's a really scary process. It's very painful. I was supposed to, go to, my husband's from England. We were going to go to England, and we were going to go to Israel. And obviously that's out of the works now. And I'm terrified of chemo. It's a lot of chemicals, and it's really frightening. Um, but that's life, right? And I have to accept it and spare change. As long as I'm alive, it's alive. So I do want people to support it, even just to come by and say hi. I mean, obviously, you want to drop, a couple bills. I'll love it and I'll appreciate it. But even if you just come to say hi, that's good too. And I'll still be working off the computer because I live for it. But I just won't get to be there, which makes me.
Mm, there's your brother.
Yes, I know. My brother's he's a good guy. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. That was the toughest part, was telling the people who are close to you. It's not tough telling strangers.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird being like saying it. Yeah, I will tell you. And it's an interesting thing, because they tell you in all the books I'm reading to eat vegan, even from the cancer center. It's eat vegan, and I say, thank goodness I already do, because I think I'm 5 steps ahead because of my vegan lifestyle. Breast cancer doesn't have to do with the way you eat. How you heal from breast cancer, I think, has to do with the way you eat. So, breast cancer, I don't know if it's genetic, it's a mystery, or, I don't know what it is, but it happened. My dad had cancer in every orifice in his body, and he never smoked a cigarette in his life, and he was vegetarian. I mean, everyone's, and then I have a grandma who died of 50 from lung cancer, and she smoked. Everyone's different. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so, the incorporation of the story to the store is obvious. The incorporation of the story to veganism, I hope, is also obvious. I think veganism makes me feel better about fighting cancer than if I wasn't. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I know I have to use drugs that have been tested on animals, and that kills me, actually, more than me. It hurts me to think that I'm supporting these pharmaceuticals, but
Well,
you do
what
what
do
you
we
have to
do
do.
without you? I mean, there's that line. The line is to do the best that you can when you're vegan. It's
Yeah,
not it's not putting yourself up on the pulpit and saying, I'm gonna die for this because if I don't do
right.
something, like take these meds, that I'm probably going to die. And
Yeah,
you're too young to die. You're too young
yeah,
not to fight,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
fighting, part of the fighting is to take the medication.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's that's what you need to do. And there's a lot of vegans out there that are going to write to you probably and be like, how can you do that? Well, you know what, fuck you. When you're sick with cancer, or you need to go to the hospital from a car accident to do emergency surgery, you say no.
Right,
You say
right,
no to the
exactly.
anesthesia.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's very easy to make these judgments. It's I call it the expansion of cancel culture. Oh, you feel this way, or you do this, oh, you're automatically lame. You're not vegan anymore. You're not this anymore. And you do what you can, and every little bit that you do, I believe, does good change. I'm not saying my $50 a month to this organization or that organization makes a huge change, but if it makes this much of a change, then brilliant. Then I'm going to keep it. So I am continuing to live a vegan lifestyle. The only difference will be the chemo medications. I'm still taking my natural herbs. I didn't talk to them about, but apparently mistletoe is really good for cancer. So I learned that from Suzanne Summers, who
Good
actually
for
had
breast
cancer.
cancer. Yep.
Yeah, she used mistletoe extract, and I was like, wow. I'm doing what but again, when it happens so fast, like a freight train, it's like a car accident. you just do the emergency surgery and you heal from it as best as you can, you know?
Exactly. And the other point that's the obvious point here is that you can be vegan and get cancer or heart disease or
Yeah,
diabetes or strokes. And no matter how good or bad you are at what your intake is, your genetics still play a huge role in what's
yeah,
going to happen in your body. And your foundation of veganism should balance, it shouldn't have balance, should make for, I'm not gonna say an easier time, because I know this is not going to be easy,
yeah.
but your chances are better
I
because of your
agree.
foundation.
I agree. I think that, you know, the fact that I don't have to worry about, the weight or, other issues that affect cancer so strongly. I mean, I'm reading a lot and, I think hopefully, if I'm not a step ahead, at least I'm a step there. I feel like I'm in my class. He's the professor, and I feel like I'm in his class where he says, "Excellent point. I got an A. Thanks, big brother."
Thank you.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
appreciate it. We like the gold
yeah,
stars.
yes. Yeah, and I've got I thought I was lifting my cat. I was lifting my stuffed animal cow. I have one of my cat this one of my cows. I wanted to lift my cat to cuddle. I picked up my cow.
The stuffed animal
Anyway,
cow's good too. So
yeah,
that's
cows get to.
so thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, it's important. It's important people to know. I mean, go support Spirit Change, go support you. Lots of healing energy coming your way just because
Thank you.
people are watching and learning what's going on. And
Thank
the cat is elusive.
you.
Except when the cat was having hairball throw up
Yeah,
in the
he did that
beginning.
right in front
So
of the camera. Yeah, yeah,
so not so elusive. They know. That's why the
they know.
animals are not in the room when I do this, because Morgan would be up here. Morgan broke a picture frame today by knocking it off the desk twice. And I was like, that's it. I want to just toss you across the room. Let's go away, because he just comes up and walks across the keyboard, comes up on my shoulders. And like if she
Oh,
would be
yeah.
purring into the microphone, it was like,
I know
so
he
no.
Henry keeps trying to lick the port, and I'm like, "Honey, it's not," he's like, "Oh, cat toy, new cat toy." I'm like,
That's
for
not what
that.
that is.
Yeah, that's all that is. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants, we're if I can, my address is 43 Broadway Street. We're right across from Mellow Mushroom. There's lots of fun stuff hanging in the window. Gordy the cow hangs in the window along with a lot of socks. And everybody's weird. My design that's always in the window. And awesome, thank you. And they can always email me. We're on Instagram. Instagram is just spare change. We don't have an online store yet. We're getting there. Once all this is over, maybe in 5 years, I'll have an online store. I'm trying. I'm working on things, but we're getting there. But please come say hi. And we do ship. If anyone wants anything, we do ship. But bear with me because it's through my email. So
Right. No worries with that. And then when you're ready to do a store, if you're like working on the store, just so you know, Steven can build websites. He can
oh,
build a store. So it, it's just let us know. And
okay.
because he can be working on that while you're going through all this, and then get that up and running so that you can start shipping this. And then of course, hopefully your store will get busier because they can buy stuff
Yeah.
online and not necessarily have to be in Asheville to see all the really cool stuff that you have. And then all those small businesses, I might have an idea for you that I'll speak to you about after we finish.
Okay.
It just came to
Okay.
me.
I'm
So
excited.
let me
Yeah.
just like, don't forget it, Helene. That's what I said to myself. So
Okay.
I just remind me store, and it should get
It
me
should
so I
trigger.
don't
Okay.
forget. Yes, it should trigger if I forget. But so I'm going to say thank you for joining me, and that everyone knows how they can get in touch with you. And
Yes.
we'll I'll talk to you in a minute, but everyone else needs just to go to Asheville and hang out at Spare Change.
Right. Thank you so much. Go and be proud. Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Mary. Well, everyone, thanks once again for joining Virtual Veg Fest Live, and we're happy to be back. I should be back next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m., which will be like really cool. Well, thank you, Boaz. I really appreciate that. Where are you? There you are. Thank you so much, and wonderful conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So go to virtualvegfest.com, enter our contest, which is our wish pond, and you can win some really cool prizes. Thank you to Fabulous for being our newest sponsor and our newest person to donate prizes to our monthly contest. I still don't remember who the seventh one is. Completely give you thanks, Susan. Peace to you as well. And it's like, well, the friend that I talk about as for reason why you get vaccinated has COVID right now. And he's not vaccinated because he's high risk and allergic possibly to the vaccine. And it was my worst nightmare, my worst fear is that he would get it. And he's recovering, thankfully, so far. But another reason why you get vaccinated is because people with cancer who like you just get this. It wouldn't be a good thing right now for Norit to get COVID. So the reason that we do these things, as we just said, regarding like veganism and taking medications, is so that we can do right by ourselves and right to the world. And it's symbiotic. And so yes, you're taking a medication that's probably not vegan. However, you will save lives of people who are so they can continue in this world and do the right thing by helping to plant seeds for other people to go vegan, which will save the planet and save the animals and you know make people healthier or save their health part of their existence. So my words to you today are to be kind and to get vaccinated and to wear a mask and to social distance. We are pretty much hiding out at the moment until we get boosted on Thursday and then still hiding out so that we can try hopefully avoid this whole COVID thing. But you know, it's not it's a little scary out there. So be kind, be safe, do what you need to do the best that you can because that's the true definition of veganism is to do the best that you can with what you have in front of you. And if that happens to be cancer, then you do what you need to do to fight the cancer. You don't say no. I'm vegan. I'm gonna die on this pulpit and no. Well, yeah, you can, but what good are you to the world if you're just gonna die without trying and fighting it? And your vegan diet, I'm sorry, I don't care how healthy you are, it does not mean you will not get a disease or a virus or anything like that. It's sorry. So I'll get off mine and I will say thank you for watching and thank you for joining us. Coach Kayla is tomorrow at 7 p.m., which is Wednesday. You can definitely check her out. She's our health coach, nutritionist. So her advice is fantastic. And she always has a little talk. So you can tune in on virtualvegfest.com to watch her. And then Kim at 8 a.m. on Monday. We'll have Wake Up in Yoga. And then Kimberly at 7 p.m. on Mondays as Fireside Chat with Kimberly. And then next Wednesday, the Vegan Stew will be back at 7 p.m. on Wednesday to have another conversation, which we'll find out tomorrow what that will be. So thank you so much. I think I'm long-winded. Have a good night. And also, by the way, Happy New Year. And if you haven't gone and checked out the GoFundMe for the Imagine Vegan Kitchen, please do because their daughter was in a very bad car accident and she is literally being put back together. And she's 20 years old. She was hit head on Christmas Eve. So if you can donate to that or send support or healing energy to Savannah, please do that as well. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.